Petra, the city carved from living rock, then erased from the world. An entire civilization built a city so sophisticated it managed rainwater in one of the harshest deserts on Earth, carved palaces directly into solid rock cliffs, and grew wealthy enough to rival Rome itself. Then, within a few centuries, it simply emptied out, and the outside world forgot it existed for well over 1,000 years, until a European explorer had to disguise himself as a local pilgrim just to be allowed to see it. Deep within the desert canyons of what is now southern Jordan, the ancient city of Petra flourished as the capital of the Nabataean kingdom, a civilization of Arab traders who, beginning sometime around the 4th century BC, transformed a strategically located desert valley into one of the ancient world's most sophisticated and wealthy trading hubs. The Nabataeans built their success on their unique position, controlling critical trade routes, carrying frankincense, myrrh, spices and silk between Arabia, Egypt and the broader Mediterranean world, extracting substantial wealth through tolls, trade, and their own direct participation in these lucrative commercial networks. What made Petra genuinely remarkable, beyond its considerable commercial success, was the sheer architectural and engineering sophistication the Nabataeans achieved in one of the least hospitable environments imaginable for building a major city. Rather than constructing buildings from imported materials, Nabataean architects and engineers carved many of the city's most significant structures directly into the surrounding sandstone cliff faces, creating elaborate facades, tombs and temples cut straight into solid rock. Most famously, the massive, intricately detailed facade known as Al-Khazna, or the Treasury, which remains Petra's most recognized structure today. Its detailed Hellenistic-influenced carvings preserved remarkably well, specifically because they were carved from the living rock itself, rather than assembled from separate stone blocks vulnerable to structural collapse over centuries. Beyond the city's striking rock-cut architecture, Nabataean engineers developed a genuinely sophisticated water management system essential to sustaining a major urban population in a region receiving minimal annual rainfall. The city's engineers constructed an extensive network of channels, cisterns and dams specifically designed to capture, store and distribute the region's limited seasonal rainfall and natural spring water throughout the year, a system sophisticated enough that modern hydraulic engineers studying Petra's ruins have expressed genuine admiration for solutions that allowed a population estimated at its peak to have reached 20,000 or more residents to thrive in an environment that would otherwise have made large-scale permanent settlement genuinely impractical. Petra reached its peak of wealth and influence during the 1st century BC and 1st century AD, maintaining its independence as a client kingdom allied with, but not directly controlled by, the expanding Roman Empire, until Rome formally annexed the Nabataean kingdom in 106 AD, incorporating Petra directly into the Roman provincial system. Under Roman rule, the city continued functioning as a significant regional trade center for a considerable period, and Roman-influenced architectural additions from this era remain visible throughout the site alongside the earlier, distinctly Nabataean rock-cut structures. Petra's eventual decline stemmed from a combination of factors that gradually undermined the specific economic and geographic advantages that had made the city's remarkable wealth possible in the first place. Shifting regional trade routes, driven partly by changing political circumstances and partly by the development of alternative maritime trading routes that reduced dependence on the specific overland caravan routes Petra had originally been built to control, gradually diminished the city's commercial significance over the following centuries. A series of significant earthquakes, including a particularly devastating one in 363 AD that severely damaged much of the city's infrastructure, including large portions of its sophisticated water management system, further accelerated the city's decline, since the specific engineering solutions that had allowed the city to sustain a substantial population in such an arid environment depended heavily on infrastructure. The earthquake damage rendered increasingly difficult and expensive to maintain and repair. By the early Islamic period, Petra's population had declined dramatically from its peak, and the city, while never entirely abandoned by local Bedouin populations who continued living within and around the ancient ruins, gradually faded from broader regional and international significance, eventually disappearing almost entirely from Western historical and geographic knowledge for well over 1,000 years. Known and actively used only by local Bedouin communities who maintained their own oral traditions and practical knowledge of the site, while the wider world's historical memory of Petra's existence faded into vague, unverified legend. Petra's dramatic reintroduction to Western knowledge came in 1812, when Swiss explorer Johann Burckhardt, traveling through the region while researching potential trade routes, heard local rumors of impressive ancient ruins hidden within a specific desert canyon. Ruins local guides were reportedly reluctant to reveal to outsiders. Burckhardt, who had spent years studying Arabic language and Islamic customs specifically to travel safely and convincingly through the region, disguised himself as a Muslim pilgrim traveling to visit a nearby religious shrine, successfully convincing local guides to lead him through the narrow, dramatic canyon entrance known as the Siq and into the hidden city beyond, becoming the first European in centuries to document Petra's existence and location for the wider Western world. Burckhardt's rediscovery gradually transformed Petra from a locally known but internationally forgotten site into one of the ancient world's most celebrated archaeological locations, drawing increasing scholarly attention and, eventually, significant tourism, culminating in Petra's designation as a UNESCO World Heritage Site in 1985 and its selection in 2007 as one of the new 7 wonders of the world through a global public vote. Formal international recognitions that would have seemed genuinely unimaginable to the small local Bedouin communities who had quietly maintained knowledge of the site through the many centuries when the wider world had entirely forgotten it existed. What makes Petra's story endure as one of history's most compelling examples of lost civilization and rediscovery isn't simply the genuine architectural and engineering achievement the site itself represents, remarkable as the Nabataeans' rock-cut architecture and water management systems genuinely remain even by modern standards, but the specific, almost improbable combination of circumstances that allowed an entire sophisticated civilization's capital city to essentially vanish from broader historical memory for over a millennium, hidden not through any deliberate concealment, but simply through the gradual, compounding effects of shifting trade routes, natural disaster, and the slow erosion of the civilization's broader historical significance, until a single determined explorer, willing to risk considerable personal danger through elaborate disguise, finally rediscovered what local communities had quietly known all along. If stories like this, where entire lost civilizations wait centuries to be rediscovered by anyone willing to look closely enough, are exactly what you come here for, subscribe to The Grave Details, because history holds more stories like this than most people will ever know.